real estate agents. Welcome to the Weekly Closer. I'm your host, Jeff Underwood, along with my co-host, Joey Sampaga. Hey, wait a minute. You have another co-host back there, kind of, sort of.
I do.
Don't you?
We have Susan Cunningham.
Hello.
Hey, Susan, how you doing?
I am very good. It's an honor to be here today.
There's Susan with her radio voice.
Oh, I do have a radio voice.
I know.
I have a little bit of a cold, so.
No, that's right. We are the Real Estate Marketing Maniacs. Oh, yeah, we've got some special guests with us today. Gosh, we got 5 people in this room today.
We do.
It's great.
This is awesome.
Absolutely. We have Shanna Day with the Shanna Day Team at Keller Williams Realty East Valley, and Mike Demke with AmeriFirst Financial. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
How's it going? It's good.
Doing great.
Right?
Awesome.
Okay.
Glad to be here.
This is going to be fun. Yes.
They look scared.
They don't
Jeff.
know what they're in for yet, do they? No. Why don't we can break the ice with sharing with the agents how long you've been in the business and what got you into real estate, and then Mike, what got you into the mortgage side?
Okay, that's interesting. I've been in the business over 21 years, and I was preparing tax returns before that. One of my good friends came in so I could prepare his return, and he'd been building luxury spec homes. And I looked at the return, I'm like, why am I doing taxes? So 1 week later, I jumped into purchasing lots and land, and we built a couple subdivisions, and I built luxury homes for 10 years. Then I got my license and sold all my friends' real estate after that.
That's an amazing story.
Thanks.
So it's a lot more fun than tax returns, right?
Oh, yeah.
Probably less stressful during this time. Well,
So it's a day after.
Yeah.
Well, I guess on this day of recording, that is.
That's true.
And so that's how you got into it.
That's how I got into it. But then when I got licensed, it was because that's when the market crashed.
Okay.
And all of my builder friends, they were losing their shirts, and the market was spiraling by the hour.
Yeah.
So once I got licensed, I started out with $30 million worth of listings and tried to keep them all floating before they either went to foreclosure or we short sold them.
Wow.
It was
That's
crazy.
a lot of stress right there.
It was, but I dig it.
There we go. All right. How about Mike? What's going on?
Oh, wow. I'm surprised Shanna admitted how long she's been in this industry, because I don't know if I dare to, you know. I actually came from the real estate industry. And
I know
migrated,
where you work, so I could figure it out.
That's right.
No, I'm just
And then migrated into the lending side with AmeriFirst Financial, partnered up with the Bolbys over there, and have a great run. I mean, I've been there for about 6 years. I primarily got in there for coaching and training and doing development for real estate agents in certain niche products that we were launching, and so it's been a really fun time. Enjoy it.
All right.
And I've known you for, 28 years,
Yeah.
I think.
Can't even remember.
Really?
how long.
Yeah.
Wow, she's dating you too.
Oh, sorry about that.
Are both of you local? I
Yes.
mean, have been here a long time?
Local here forever.
All right. Not very often we have so many locals in the room.
Well, I've been here 36 years.
Okay. You're considered local, right? How about, why don't we get into the special niche that you have both been working on together? And you mentioned, Shanna, at the beginning of this that like 70% of your business is coming from people who are going through divorce situations.
Yes, last year, 70% of all of our business was from divorce.
That is a big number.
And as I looked back on it, it scared me. It scared me because, statistically, 50% of, no, not 50%, but those over 50, the divorce rate has doubled. And so when I looked at my list of people that I helped last year, a lot of them were my friends, and it really hit home that I was helping them after they had already decided to go to get divorced. And once I received, we'll talk a little bit more about some training that we've had, and it just hit home that it is so important that they talk to our collaborative team before they go to mediation. And even if they're just thinking about getting divorced, they need to talk to many more professionals, not just their divorce attorney.
Right. Yeah, because I mean, real estate's one thing, right? The mortgage is another thing. Their credit is another thing. I mean, those are all things that they need to be, think about when they're going through this process. And the attorneys probably are not going over much of that at all.
Yeah,
if
they're-
at all.
They're not really advising their clients on all the things that can go wrong. And we can tell them not only what can go wrong, but we can help
Yeah.
them so that it doesn't go wrong.
Absolutely. Why don't you share how you're collaborating, how you're working together then with this, with this specific.
Yeah, so the Arizona Department of Real Estate felt like this was such an important topic that they actually have created continuing education classes for this very reason. And as Shanna and I began getting into this training and talking and seeing what the opportunities are out there, it was real apparent that there's so much stuff that has to happen before that gavel actually goes down to, like you said, to preserve the credit, to preserve equity in their investments, versus just letting all that go because they've made, decisions that they haven't been
Right.
advised on. So,
Yeah.
we have started looking at the situation. We're trying to put plans together on how to help people, out there that are thinking about
Yeah.
it before they even talk to the
Right.
attorney.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, most people probably make. There's a lot of emotions going on right there.
Oh, yeah.
So they're making decisions quickly, maybe out of anger or something, right? Versus an informed
Correct.
decision on how is this truly going to impact.
And we need to reach out to those
My
people. We call them the people of concern. Those who are concerned for the people that are getting divorced. Maybe
Yeah.
a relative or a friend, a neighbor, because they know that they're going through these crises, but they don't know the people who are going through the crises. They don't know the emotions that they're really going through. And
Yeah.
they're not really, it's not that they're not capable of making good decisions, but they don't know everything to think about.
Yeah, right.
We need to give them the information so that they make good decisions.
Okay. Are there some? I know there are certain scary stories out there that you probably have heard or
Oh, I've
maybe
been
even
involved in them.
witnessed yourself, right? But can you share a couple of those things that
Yeah.
people need to be kind of looking out for?
We can
Yeah,
send-
let me start with one because in the lending industry, our focus is getting the client the best loan possible, best interest rate, lowest payment, and a lot of times that means maybe taking off a spouse off the loan. There could be an income earning spouse that has a higher FICO score and a non-income borrowing spouse. When we do this, we create problems for people in the future when they may decide to divorce because it requires that the non-borrowing spouse sign things like a disclaimer deed,
Yeah.
and they give up their right to the property, And so we've actually had a case where we had to go to court because after we had done a loan, immediately after they decide they're going to get a divorce, and the spouse that signed the disclaimer deed found them in a situation where they no longer had right to the property that they had been paying on their whole entire married life, And so there's situations like that we create on the lending side that could be problematic when they go through a divorce.
Got it.
The other issue is really just trying to keep them qualified, One spouse decides they're going to stay in the home, but they're really not qualified. So after that gavel goes down, all of a sudden they can't qualify for the home. They let it go back to foreclosure, and now that other spouse that gave up the right to the house is looking at having a foreclosure on the record.
Yeah. Yeah, and I would say that spouse that wants to keep the house, probably it's more of an emotional decision, right?
Correct.
They don't want to get rid of it. This is where I've been for the last 5 years. This is where the kids are, whatever the situation is. But
That's
not
exactly-
thinking about the numbers.
That's exactly the story I wanted to tell you
Oh,
about. It
go
was
ahead.
the spouse who wanted to stay.
Yeah.
So as we were taking training from Professor Murray, who has her degrees from Harvard and Stanford, and she also teaches across the country for all the judges and divorce attorneys. But as we were taking training from her, this very scenario came up where one of our clients wanted to stay in the house. She was going to mediation the very next week. And we're listening to Professor Murray, and we're like texting. We're texting our client saying, stop, don't go to mediation until we've talked to you. We need to get you with all of our collaborative team, meaning the inspectors, the appraisers, the lenders, the insurance people. There's so many things that can go wrong. So she made an appointment with us, and we sat down with her. And after that appointment, we had the appraiser go in, we had the inspector go in. She realized then that she was making a really bad decision by staying in the home. And then as of this last weekend, we actually got her home into escrow for $150,000 more than what they would have received had they paid each other out and she stayed there. And the crisis would have been, if she would have stayed, she would have had 2 loans to pay off. She would have had deferred maintenance that she couldn't have been able to pay for. And she would have had to pay her spouse more than the house was worth.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's so many things that could have gone wrong for her.
Right.
But because she talked to our team, now it's going right. And they both saved $75,000.
And the thing is she would have thought, if you hadn't talked to her, she would have thought that she had won.
Yes.
If she had kept the house.
Yes. And it's in a neighborhood that's really difficult to sell and all kinds of things that she did not even think about.
Wow.
But emotionally, she would have thought she won.
Yeah.
This is really, that's such valuable information.
She's super grateful right now.
I was
both
singing
are.
your praises, no doubt.
They both are very grateful.
Your voice came into my ear, and I'm like, somebody's behind me.
Hey, did you forget I was back here?
No, how could we forget? How could we forget that? So what are you doing together, I guess, to get the word out? Is there something that you're doing to get, because we get a lot of agents in here, they're doing ads and they're marketing, they're not concentrating on divorce situations, of course, but I would think that that's a totally different approach, right? I mean, you're not going to probably send a Facebook ad out that says, hey, we've been thinking about getting a divorce. I mean, somebody might, but I don't know.
I better cancel that real quick.
I mean, maybe, but are there certain things that you're doing, I guess, to get the word out?
There are different things on our end than his end, but we're trying to work together so that we can multiply the people that we can inform. And it's amazing how many times we are just in a group, like at, getting our hair done, and we'll talk about our designation, and we haven't mentioned that yet today.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that, and then 3 people in the room that they weren't even listening, they're saying, hey, I know somebody that you need to talk to. So word of mouth is big. We're also talking to divorce attorneys, and I'm shocked how many divorce attorneys don't realize how many things can go wrong. They
Right.
don't even know. They're not giving their clients advice on it because they didn't even know about it.
Right.
And I think that's the biggest message out there is to the divorce attorneys, and because they have specific things they deal with and they don't think about it,
I was just going to ask you, Mike, do you go to the hair salon? And
Well, I was just going to say, when I was getting my hair done the other day at Sports Clips, the gal cutting my hair did mention she was going through a divorce. So,
Yeah.
it worked out.
What is the percentage again of divorcees or divorces that are happening?
Oh, gosh. I don't know the exact number
Maricopa
for
County,
that.
I think it's
Over
pushing
60%.
55 to 60%.
I was
So
gonna
it's
say-
like more than half the people you're talking to are going to be having a divorce.
Or obviously
Yeah.
they know 3 or 4 people. We did a home tour the other day, and we just mentioned it, and everybody on tour said they knew 4 to 6 people.
Wow. That's
And
a lot of people.
And isn't the highest rate the folks that are, you said over 50?
It doubled recently
Uh-huh,
for those over 50.
And
Yeah,
we have a lot of folks that come here to retire, so we have an extra large community of people.
And we can tie this designation and this expertise into the people who are elderly as well.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
very, very similar expertise, and we have them meet with the same collaborative team.
Right.
So if they're planning their estate planning, or, because most of them have either one or multiple properties that they need to deal with, and they're too afraid to even bring it up with their spouse or their children, that they need to start planning. And this gives them the method to do that.
Right. Absolutely. Well, do you want to mention, I guess, go ahead and share the designation and how you
Okay.
went through that process?
Okay. Well, there's 2 things that I wanted to mention on that first. I am a special real estate commissioner with Maricopa County, and I just had a call on my way over here from an agent who is going through a divorce himself, and the courts ordered the real estate to be sold. The wife's not cooperating, so they can't get it listed, they can't get it sold, and so the court ordered it to be sold. So he contacted me as one of the people that he's going to refer as, not only having special real estate commissioner, but the designation that we all hold here is the RCSD, which is the Real Estate Collaborative Specialist for Divorce. And that designation, as I was talking about with Professor Murray, has really, really opened our eyes to how important it is that they not just talk to their divorce attorney,
Right.
but they talk to the experts in real estate, and that we hook them up with all of the different team members so they get advice across the board from the inspector, from the appraiser, the insurance,
Yeah.
lender,
Title.
title, yes.
There's that voice again.
Absolutely title.
Oh, Susan Cunningham, you're back there.
Yeah.
From
So-
security title.
That's
Yeah.
right. And I mean, it's so important that the divorce attorneys are not getting the information even from title on the houses that they're selling.
Yeah. So people don't even know if there's any liens on the house or anything.
Right.
I mean, additional liens, right?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, it just seems like it would be a common sense type thing, but I think that when people are in this situation, they just don't think about it.
Well, here's a really important situation that just happened because they weren't thinking about that, right? So they had a second loan on their property, a HELOC. It was paid down when they decided to get divorced. They hadn't been divorced yet. The staying spouse, the one staying in the home, decided to use the HELOC as an ATM and started refurbishing the home and building a pool and all the things she thought would be
Buying
important
it.
to sell the house.
Yeah.
That she turned it upside down because it's worth, or she owes more than what it's worth right now. And the going spouse, the out spouse, didn't even know she had been spending that money. So, and he's on the loan, and now both spouses are in trouble.
Yeah. Ouch.
We had one where one of the spouse just did the HELOC on their own because it only takes one. And they didn't even know there was a HELOC on
Oh
it
my.
until title discovered it.
And the divorce
Man,
attorneys are not
that's
looking for
bad.
those things.
No.
So I'm
No.
curious. I mean, how, as a real estate agent and a lender, how is it dealing with the clients? I mean, is it more difficult than
It's
regular
crazy difficult, but we've put systems in place to deal with it. Some spouses don't even want to hear or think about the other spouse's name or anything to do with it. So the way that we communicate with them varies depending on their situation. But I want them to know that we're neutral, that we're helping them both, and we communicate the exact same thing to both spouses so that we are not playing favorites. And we're not trying to hide something from one from the other. And it's just so important because it's hard to deal with them because when they're divorcing, one stays up late at night and they're starting to text me at 12 o'clock, 12:30 in the morning, and the other one found out that they were texting me, and so they start texting me rebuttals at 5 a.m. and it's crazy. So I have to just keep it really toned down and keep them both informed and just make friends with both of them.
You don't come up with like different names for each person, right? Or party A and party B.
No, because I mean, in our business, it's all a referral business. So we want to be referred by both of them,
Right.
not just one.
Right. And I know in that training that they also talk about always referring to the real estate as the house, right?
Yes, the
Instead
property.
of the home,
The property,
because it makes
yeah.
a big difference, right? Home feels emotional.
Mm-hmm.
House is just a
Yeah, we went through that
Yeah,
through all those
a
years of
place.
short sales and foreclosures. We
Yeah.
changed it from calling it a home to either a property or a house. We're going to
Yeah.
sell your house.
So the training itself, that's something I know they've come to the Valley before, but I guess that's something you would recommend for agents to take a look at if that's what kind of the direction they want to go. Because you're going to have some agents that just say flat out, well, I've worked with a divorcing couple before,
Yes.
and I don't want to go down
And
that
that's why
road,
we get so
right?
many referrals. We get so
Right.
many referrals because it's very, very difficult because they're angry.
Yeah.
They're upset. They're emotional. Everything about the thing is difficult for them. So we get a lot of referrals, and it's complicated, especially if it's a luxury property. And my background is luxury, building, developing. And so we get a lot of business that way.
All right.
And I think as far as the niche goes, it is a mindset. And a lot of the training that we did is a mindset in working with these types of clients.
Yeah.
And I think what Shanna said about being neutral and being able to please both sides in protecting credit, protecting equity. You know, it is a different mindset. So,
Right.
but it's one of those markets that I think is only going to get more of a demand as time goes on.
Yeah, for sure. So if there are agents listening or watching that do want to reach out to you
Yes.
for potential referral,
That would be great.
how do they do that?
You can email me or you can text me, call me. My email is Shanna Day. It's SHANNADAY it's info@shannaday.com.
Oh,
I
there we
messed
go.
that up.
That's okay.
info@shannaday.com, or my phone number, my direct line is 480-415-7616.
All right. And you want to share your number too?
Absolutely.
case
So
people
my
have a question.
email address is mdemke@amerifirst.us, and you can contact me if you want to go through any of the continuing education classes. It is considered a law credit, you know, legal, and so I do those about once a month, and it really gives you an understanding of where this market's going and what the niche is, and
Right.
and what real estate agents can do to get involved.
All right.
Can I add one
Fantastic.
more little thing to that?
Absolutely.
Um,
No, I'm just teasing.
Well, we have, we're licensed in Utah and here.
I was going to say.
And we have, we're in 6 MLSs, so we take business and referrals from all over the state, all over Utah. I just got a call this morning from the client that wants to sell a beach home in Mexico. We can handle that as well.
Wow.
And so anywhere we can help you.
All right. Fantastic. Before we move to the next segment here, anything else you want to share? Or I was going to say, does it normally make the most sense to sell the property with these situations?
Depends.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's why you need to talk to everyone involved.
Yeah. Okay.
Your divorce attorney is not giving you great advice, I can say that.
Yeah.
Because
All
they
right.
don't know what they don't know. I mean, they know their business,
Right.
and their business is to get the divorce final.
Yeah.
But they don't understand all of the implications that can happen with the real estate side.
Great answer. All right. You ready to move to the next?
Sure.
Awesome. Let's do this.
I'm not sure. It depends
All
on
right.
what it is.
You guys are going to get in the ring. We're going to
Now
get
you're
we're going to
making
get a
us
few more masks out.
Nervous?
No, I'm just teasing. All right, so here we go. What's the best advice that anyone's ever given? And you can either both answer or just one, however you want to handle that.
Eat dinner together.
All right, that's always a good one.
Great.
That's funny. But that
That's
has
true.
to deal with our divorces, too. Are they
Yeah, it
eating dinner
does.
together? Are they making their families strong?
Priority.
Absolutely.
You know, the best advice that I've received and lately is if it's too good to be true, it's too good to be true. Most of the time I see a lot of people thinking that there's deals out there, there's things that can happen, and a lot
Yeah.
of times they're just too good to be true.
Yep.
That's an oldie
Totally.
but a goodie.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Believe that. How about your favorite mobile app?
Well, this one's easy for me. I
Okay.
just got on an app called RoboKiller.
Oh,
and
there you
it is
go.
the coolest app ever because it answers all my robocalls, and it actually has a recorded voice. It's like a real voice, and it records the calls, and it tries to keep them on the line as long as possible. And it's
That's
so
so funny.
entertaining because I listen to the calls, and they get really upset with this robo thing talking to them.
RoboKiller.
But it's literally killed all my robo calls.
Is that a free app or how much?
No,
it costs?
I think I paid like $30 for the year, but it was so worth it because I was
Wow.
getting so many calls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I probably get 3 or 4 a day, and they have a huge database of numbers as they call that
Right.
they're continuing to build from everybody, and so it's completely eliminated all my robocalls.
So do you get the recordings after?
Yeah, you got the recordings after,
You
and they are
oh,
hilarious.
dude, you should like start a
Start posting
YouTube
them.
channel with some of
Yeah.
that stuff. Just get it going.
That'd go viral.
That'd be funny.
Yeah,
That was a good idea. No.
I have an app too that has just saved me a tremendous amount of time. I would guess at least 40 hours a week.
What's that?
What?
It's called SaneBox. SaneBox is for all my
SaneBox.
emails. So being on 6 MLSs, I get inundated with hundreds and hundreds of emails every day from all the title companies and lenders and everybody possible that's trying to seek my business. And so SaneBox just takes all of those emails that come in, and I can, instead of trying to unsubscribe something that's a process, I can just send it to outer darkness and it just disappears and I never see those emails again. or I can put it into sane later, and then I can just take 30 minutes of my day and I can go through all the things that are not quite important, but I can either deal with them, send them to somebody else, delegate it, or put it on my to-do list for the next day.
Yeah.
But it just has saved me so many hours every week. I can't even tell you how many hours. Because I would even go with my family, and I'm sitting there deleting emails as I'm walking through Disneyland.
Or trying to unsubscribe.
I'm trying
which
to
does take
unsubscribe,
time.
and I couldn't keep up with them. But SaneBox has
Did you say
solved that.
sane? Like not insane, but sane?
Yes,
Okay.
SANEBOX. And it's-
Now I know what's happening to all my emails that I've been sending
I
Shanna.
was thinking the same thing,
You know.
Mike. Exactly. I'm like, well, that's not working. Trickster.
No, that's awesome. How about a book recommendation? It can either be one you read or one you listen to. How about
Wow.
Well, I
Shanna.
don't know if this is very fair, but I love the Red Book by Gary Keller. It's the Millionaire Real Estate Agent.
Yep.
And
Awesome.
I
That
read
seems like
it.
fair.
I read it. I listen to it on my way to work every day, and it's amazing. It's like the Bible for real estate. It can go across any of the real estate platforms, whether you're with Keller Williams or Revelation or whoever you're with.
Yeah.
But it's the way to make millions.
that? All right. Love it.
So probably one of my favorite that I just read recently. It's just a real short book. You can read it probably in one bathroom visit, but it's called Go for No.
Yes.
And it's just
That's
a really
good
cool
one.
book that, if you're prospecting, making calls, you're counting the no's, not the yeses.
All right. Great. How about a productivity tool or software that you use on a regular basis?
Outside of the norm, that's a little tougher one. I mean, there's a tool that I have. I mean, CRMs are big with me. I mean, I've been trying to figure out what the right CRM is.
Sure.
They say
and
the right one's the one you use.
is the one that you use, and they're so difficult. But the Infusionsoft software that I've been using, I think, has been the best for me right now.
There you go. Well, I'm glad you called it that and not Confusionsoft, like a lot of people call it. So, good.
For me, I don't know. In real estate, you use so many different apps, and KW is solving that problem. But I use Wunderlist, WUNDERSTLI, or whatever it is, Wunderlist.
Yeah.
And I use that because I can forward it instantly to any of my team members, can make a list of the things that we need to do for team agenda or a project. I do a lot of fix and flips, so I can make a list for just that fix and flip. I've even started taking all my notes during all my CE training or all the conventions I go to, because each topic I can have in a different section, and I can take all those notes and like, for example, one I just went to was on having special events. And now I've got like 178 ideas under special events.
Wow. It's a
So-
lot of special events.
Yeah, it takes a lot to get a lot of referrals.
Absolutely. It does.
Is that similar to Evernote?
Kind of.
It sounds kind
I think it's a lot
better.
simpler.
Oh, simpler. Okay, good.
Simple's good.
Simple is very good.
Absolutely. And I'll have you draw a question out of the mask here. That's our final question.
I get to read it while he draws his, right?
Oh, you can answer the same one. How about that?
Oh, you drew for both.
Yes.
I hope you got a
Okay.
good one.
I don't
If
know
you could
I can
travel anywhere in the world, where would you go and
Well,
why?
this is a good one.
read the Notre Dame Cathedral.
Yeah, isn't that the saddest thing ever? I was
Yeah.
kicking myself yesterday
Yeah.
that I haven't been there yet, and I'm thinking, okay, I've got to take some time off and go to places that I'm going to kick myself and regret coming up.
Well, then this is a perfect
Oh, there you
question
go.
for
Perfect
you.
question.
Yeah.
Where will that next one be?
Well, we've honestly talked about going for D-Day and going to France, so we'll probably do that because it's the 75th anniversary this year.
That's
All right.
wonderful.
And my husband
Great.
goes by D-Day. His name's David Day, so
Ah, there we go.
I
great.
am actually planning a trip to Alaska. I've always wanted to go to Alaska and
Love
do
it.
some fishing and stuff. So that's my
All
next
right.
journey.
And you're planning.
I'm planning
That's
for
in
the
the
end
works.
of the summer.
Oh, excellent.
Joey's been to Alaska.
I have.
Was that a lot of fun, Joey?
It was fun.
There you go.
I didn't fish though, because I get seasick.
But he said it was beautiful, I think.
It's real beautiful, and it was a cruise, so I took a lot of meclizine.
That's what that stuff's called.
Like, that's perfect for someone who gets seasick.
That's so funny. Well, thank you guys for being in here.
Oh, it's
No,
a
this has
This has
pleasure.
been great.
Thank you so
A
much.
lot of great information. I do think it's, it is a niche or an issue that's out there that I think that we need to get in front of.
It's a lot bigger than I thought it was.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we don't think about that. That's something that people talk about on a regular basis and go through. So, yeah, it's really tough. So, good job.
We'd
working
like to
together.
help
It's
anybody
awesome.
that will give us a call.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, until next time, realtors. Oh, and thanks, Susan Cunningham. Security title.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see you next time. Adios. Take care. All right. Good job. Great job.